Hello people. I am Iris and this is the story about my horrible sister-in-law. I'm a very strong person and always stand up to bullies. This story is about how I gave my sister-in-law her just dessert when she tried to scam my family. I had a very big and loving family. My immediate family included my mother, father and a brother named Keith. We were very close to each other and even had an excellent relationship with our extended family. Naturally, we had an amazing time growing up. I and Keith were practically inseparable. He was 2 years older than me and fiercely protective. He is the one who taught me to stand up for myself. It was through Keith that I met my now husband, Zach. The three of us were thick as thieves. We had great bonding among us for a long time. That was until he met Amber. Amber is a stunning woman and a part-time model. Keith was absolutely enthralled by her. Soon they were in love and dating seriously. Me and Zach were super excited to meet her, however, our excitement would soon die down. You see, when we finally met Amber, we knew she was a horrible person. Here is how our very first conversation went. "Hi, you must be Amber. My brother just won't stop talking about you. I can see why. You are so beautiful." "Thank you. It's hard being this beautiful, you know. People just fawn over me all the time. It's annoying. You won't know since you look like this." "I know I'm on the ugly side of the family. Keith got good genes."
"Don't say that, sis. You are just as beautiful as anyone else."
"Keith, there is no reason to flatter her. She's a big girl and can handle the truth." "Zach, so tell me, how did you end up with Iris? I mean, you two definitely come from different leagues."
"I don't know what you mean about that, Amber. Iris and I are pretty perfect for each other. We met through Keith. We are best friends if you see it that way."
"Oh my god, Keith, you should have told me that all your friends are hot. I would have dressed better. Zach, you must think I am a slob. I don't know how Iris goes out with you looking like that." I was pretty stunned and hurt by what Amber said. Zach was practically fuming at my side. Keith could sense the tense ambiance and tried to change the subject multiple times. However, when our double date was over, it was clear that Amber was being extremely mean to me. I had to stop Zach from giving her a piece of his mind. We didn't make a scene because she was Keith's girlfriend. When Amber left, Keith was the one to apologize to us. He said,
"I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what has gotten into her. She usually never acts this way." "You are making a mistake with this one, Keith. She is a vile woman. I don't know why you're wasting your time on her." "Look, I like her. Besides, I'm highly doubtful I'll get anyone better. She's a good girlfriend."
"Are you sure about that, Keith? I don't want you shackled with a judgmental woman."
"Iris, I'm so sorry she insulted you like that. I'm sure about her being the one. I'll talk to her about her behavior. Till then, I'm apologizing on her behalf."
"It's okay, Keith. You don't have to apologize. We will try to like her since you are serious about her." Zach was not on board at all. He despised Amber but agreed to be civil. We never wanted to stoop down to her level. Then again, we never knew exactly how much of a horrible person she is. Keith tried his best to handle the situation. We no longer wanted to hang out with Amber after she kept insulting us at every meeting. It was getting frustrating for us. Keith knew that going on double dates needed to be stopped, but he didn't want to ditch us completely. We were his best friends and he wanted to stay connected as much as possible, so he came to meet us alone. He split his time between me and Amber. However, Amber didn't like this arrangement at all. One day she called me up and said, "Hey Iris, this is Amber. I'm your brother's girlfriend, in case you have forgotten that." "Why would I forget that, Amber? Of course I remember you." "So you are purposefully scheming to take Keith away from me?" "Excuse me? What do you mean?" "Keith is spending a lot of time with you. I don't like that he is neglecting me. This needs to stop. We just hang out twice a month. You made sure he doesn't reach out to us more than that. If you had your way, you would have taken him away completely. You need to stop being so possessive. I know I'm much better than you, and that makes you jealous." "I'm not jealous of you. I just want to spend time with my brother. I'm sure he does too." "Well, I don't care. Consider this a warning. Stay away from Keith. I don't want him spending so much time with his loser sister." With that, she simply cut the call. I was dumbstruck by what happened. I told Zach about the call and he was mad as well. We knew we needed to talk to Keith about this, so we decided to tell Keith. He was not happy with what Amber had done. He again apologized on her behalf and promised to talk to her. Things got a little better after this. Keith later told me he had threatened to break up with Amber. That made her see reason. She never improved drastically. Amber was still making passive-aggressive remarks against me whenever she got the chance. However, I chose to ignore her. By that point, I knew Keith was absolutely in love with her. I kept my mouth shut because I wanted my brother to be happy. Fast forward to 2 years, Keith decides that he wants to marry Amber. Me and Zach were already married by then. We were skeptical about Amber but didn't voice our opinions. I did try to have a heart-to-heart with Keith. I said, "Keith, are you sure about her?"
Yes, Iris, I know she has been very mean towards you, but she has changed. Amber is trying to be better. She does love me and takes care of me. I want to marry her.
Alright, Keith, if that's what you want, then so be it. We just want you to be happy. Just promise me you'll leave if things get bad.
Don't worry, Iris. I promise I will protect myself if things get bad.
I was not very convinced, but didn't have other options. I didn't want to create problems. I knew Amber would have cut me off if I tried to meddle with their engagement. Instead, I silently made a vow to take revenge if she hurts my family. I was right, Amber did end up hurting my family in the future. When Keith and Amber were planning their wedding, I was trying to have a child. We had been trying for a year before, but we had no luck. That's when I discovered that I am infertile. My world came crashing down. It was a hard time for me and Zach. We were grieving the fact that we can't get pregnant. Keith knew about this fact, and so did everyone else. While everyone was super sympathetic about the situation, Amber wasn't. She took great pleasure in my pain. It was like she was waiting for this moment. One day when we were all together for some wedding planning, she said, "So I hear that you were infertile, Iris? You must be heartbroken." I am heartbroken. I was looking forward to being a mother. Too bad some people just can't be a real woman. You must be such a burden right now. I mean, Zach wanted children and you can't even give him that? He had no reason to be with you now.
Stop insulting my wife. Why would you even say that? I'm sitting right here.
Oh, Zach, you don't have to pretend to love Iris anymore. You know what? I have some beautiful friends who'll be more suited to you, and they can bear children which your useless wife cannot.
That's enough, Amber. Don't ever talk about my wife like that. Unlike you, she is a lovable person. She's better than you and your dumb friends. Amber, what is wrong with you? Apologize to my sister right now. This is unbelievable.
I was in tears when this was happening. She was hitting right at my insecurities. I couldn't take it anymore and left with Zach. Keith was already arguing with Amber when we left. Amber was adamant that she wasn't wrong and was just speaking the truth. I later got a half-assed apology from Amber because Keith threatened to cancel the wedding. I didn't push the issue any further. I never accepted her apology. The wedding happened anyway. I was never a part of the wedding party. Zach was the best man and Amber's MOH kept flirting with him throughout the wedding. It got so bad that my extended family had to step in and tell her off. Again, we didn't want a scene at their wedding and kept our mouths shut. At least Keith seemed to be more or less happy. Keith's happiness lasted only a few months. Soon it became apparent that Amber was just looking to find a man who would take care of her completely. She stopped taking in job offers and unanimously decided to be a stay-at-home wife. Keith was initially against this but relented in the end. Their marriage was extremely strained but carried on anyway. Less than a year after their wedding, Keith called me and Zach to his house. I was skeptical of going because Amber had never stopped making fun of me. However, Keith told me that Amber wasn't there, so me and Zach went to see him. When we reached the house, we saw that Keith was a mess. He said,
"Amber cheated on me with one of her friends. I can't believe this. I gave her everything."
"It's not your fault, Keith. We knew Amber was a bad person. This is all her fault."
"I told you to reconsider this relationship. You have seen the way she constantly tells me to leave Iris. How could you trust her after that? I was in love with her. I didn't want to leave her."
It's okay, Keith. Let's not think about the past. What happened has happened. What do you want to do now?
"I don't think I can be with her anymore. I think we will separate. She doesn't want to, but I don't see any other way. I can't continue this relationship."
If that is what you want, then so be it. Think this through and then make a decision. We are here for you no matter what. We tried to calm down Keith and left when he was a little better. Keith later called me and said that he will divorce Amber. He couldn't be with someone who cheated on him. I and Zach were relieved that Keith was finally making the right choice. That was until he called me after a week. Keith said,
"Amber is back at the house, Iris. She is pregnant and I didn't want her couch surfing."
"What? It can't be yours, Keith. Why are you allowing her to stay with you?"
Look, the child is innocent, right? I'm just housing her until she finds a place. She has no money right now. Amber has been begging me to let her live here. You are making a mistake again. Please think things through. I already did, you guys. I'm divorcing her anyway. She knows that. I have the papers ready, actually. Just don't tell the family anything right now. I want to sort this mess before I break the news. We won't tell anyone right now. You don't have to worry about that. Yes, Keith was such a good person that he still took Amber in. He didn't want her to suffer while pregnant. That's how caring and generous my brother was. He was willing to put up with Amber just because she was in a vulnerable state. However, Amber had absolutely no shame. She still never changed her attitude and continued to make fun of me when she could. Keith was already grown tired of her and wanted to speed up the divorce. Before Keith could officially serve her the papers, he tragically died in a car accident. It was so sudden that no one knew how to cope with it. I was devastated. He was one of the most important people in my life after our parents died. Naturally, I felt like I had lost a piece of myself. Zach was equally devastated but stayed strong for me. I was grieving my brother and didn't have time to inform the family about what happened between Keith and Amber. Before I could tell anyone, Amber did something horrible. On the day of his funeral, Amber declared that she was pregnant with Keith's child. Me and Zach were shocked. We couldn't do any damage control. Our extended family jumped in and told Amber that she will be taken care of. I didn't want to taint my brother's image in front of everyone, so I didn't speak out. When the crowd thinned, I pulled Amber aside and said, "What is wrong with you, Amber? Why would you do that? This is not Keith's child." "Well, he is dead, so you cannot prove that. People will believe me over you now. I'll trick them into looking after me just as I tricked Keith into letting me stay at the house." You are one of the most evil people I have ever met. How could you do this? You betrayed Keith, and now you are betraying the family.
Zach, you don't have to be so salty. As you can see, I'm perfectly able to get pregnant. Now that Keith is gone, maybe we can finally pursue something? I'm always up for anything. How dare you, Amber? Just because this is a funeral, I'm not making a scene. People will know your true face soon enough. Careful now, if you try anything, I'll tell people you are jealous of me. They will think you are accusing me of things because you are infertile. I was so mad and heartbroken that I left. I went home and cried throughout the day. Amber had crossed all her limits. I was holding back my anger because I knew that the baby was innocent. I didn't want her to take my revenge just yet, but the time will soon come. I was just waiting for the right time. A few months passed by, and I was finally able to deal with the grief. I was also slowly collecting evidence of Amber's cheating. While her friends wouldn't have helped, Keith's friends did. They were able to send me the screenshot that Keith sent them back then. I was also able to collect medical reports of Keith from our childhood home. With everything prepared, it was time for revenge. Amber was having the time of her life. My extended family was helping her back on her feet. However, everyone could see that she's making no effort to get a job. My aunt offered to let her stay at the property rent-free. This was the same house where she lived with Keith. Amber was milking everyone out of money. I knew telling the family about her pregnancy would not go well without proof, so I waited for the right time. Amber's friends organized a grand baby shower. Some of my relatives had also sent her money for the same. They were getting tired of her begging and demanding money. Most of them were ready to call it quits. So I took this opportunity to send them proof. You see, my brother was infertile and not many people knew it. Before the baby shower, I sent a letter to all of my extended family with proof of her cheating and the medical records proving that Keith was infertile. Everyone was furious at Amber. They encouraged me to take my revenge. On the day of the baby shower, everyone was invited to my aunt's property. They didn't confront her right away, so Amber didn't know something was up. She came up to me with her friends and said, "Hi Iris, thank you for coming. I know it must be hard for you to be around pregnant people. You must be jealous I am giving the family their first grandchild. Everyone is pampering me so much." "I bear no ill towards you, Amber. I'm happy you can be a mother." "Yeah, not all of us are barren like you. I'm a real woman who can have a child. You're just a defective excuse for one. It won't be long before Zach leaves you." "Why don't you worry about yourself, Amber? I'm pretty sure you'll need to look after yourself now." "Why would I do that? Your family's pretty much pampering me for bearing their grandchild. They will shoulder the responsibility of my son." "I think you should rethink that. Is there something you are not telling us, Amber?" "What do you mean?" The fact that you are not carrying my brother's child? How dare you? You're just jealous. How can you accuse a widow of such things? I wish Keith was here to defend me. Keith would not have defended you, Amber. He knew you cheated on him, plus he was already planning to divorce you. Everyone, to see how Iris is insulting me is stressing me out. She wants me to lose your grandchild.
Quit lying, Amber.
Amber, everyone knows Keith was infertile. I sent them his medical reports and the proof of your cheating. No one will help you anymore. You are lying. I simply took all the papers out of my bag and showed everyone. Even her friends were shocked. Amber was completely pale and started to hyperventilate. She said, "This is not true. You are lying to steal my limelight. Iris is just jealous that she can't be pregnant."
Enough, Amber. Everyone knows what a scheming person you are. You took advantage of our family's generosity. Keith only allowed you in the house out of goodness. You misused his trust as well. Everyone started to pile on Amber. Even her friends didn't dare to defend her. Amber was trying hard to convince everyone that I'm lying. No one listened to her. Everyone said that they won't give her money anymore. They even berated her for insulting me. My aunt then said, "We had enough of your lies. From your treatment of Iris, it's clear you are a bad person. We only entertain you because you tricked us with the child. We have no reason to help you anymore."
This is Keith's child. Please believe me. Iris is lying.
Well, we can have a DNA test done then.
No, there's no need for that.
There is no way you can prove this is Keith's child. You can find the child's father and make him pay for you. Or here is the eviction notice from my house. I will no longer let you stay there.
Amber kept crying and begging us to help her. She said that she doesn't want to work and will become homeless. No one listened to her. She had betrayed everyone's trust. Amber even begged me to make them understand. I told her that she deserved this treatment. The baby shower ended there. Everyone left sobbing and screaming Amber at the house. My aunt also reminded her that she had a month to move. Amber just couldn't convince her anymore. Before leaving, Amber's friends also told her that they won't allow her at their house. They didn't want their spouses to doubt their character because of her. A month later, Amber had to leave Lana's property. She showed up at my door and begged me to take her in. Amber was homeless because she didn't have any money. Her family disowned her when the truth about her marriage came out. They didn't want a cheating woman in their life. I felt bad for her, but only provided her with the address of the local homeless shelter. She shouted at me and told me some nasty things. That's when Zach stepped in and threatened to call the police for harassment. That made her leave. From what I've heard so far, Amber had to move into a homeless shelter. She couldn't get a modelling job because she still had her pregnant body. She was now surviving on state benefits. I, on the other hand, am doing much better. Me and Zach have started to try IVF treatment. Things are hopeful. I still miss my brother, but I'm glad I took revenge for both of us.